everybody. Today I am sharing some photos with you from a recent scrapbook retreat that I was on, and that is my space at the retreat. I will be using a sketch from the Chamel Design Decisions class, but I'm not going to actually show you the sketch because it's paid content and I don't share paid content to honor the providers of that content. But if you're thinking about taking design decisions, it's awesome, and I think you can get that on her website right now. That diagonal background paper is from Simple Stories Posh. The paper is called Simply Amazing, and I'm going to use basically Posh product on this layout. That polka dot paper, the aqua polka dot paper that I just cut the strip of and put in the background, is from Posh also, and it's called Love Life. And now I'm creating a grid with a couple of pieces of paper and a cut apart from Posh. And that background paper that I'm going to end up putting the grid on, it's the navy polka dot paper, is from Simple Stories Posh. It's called Follow Your Dreams. And what I'm doing right now is those squares are a little bit large so that I won't really see much of the aqua polka dot in the background, and I want to see at least part of it. I want you to see that at least there is a horizontal element in the layout that is grounding everything else. So the piece of paper that, or the square of paper that I am gluing down right now, is a heart paper from Posh. It's called Laughs Lots, and it's awesome because those hearts are outlined in like a silver foil. It's a very cool total background, and I have used that in a layout before. That navy floral paper that I just am gluing down now is called Love Life, again from Posh. And then that coral paper there that I glued down just before is actually from the cut apart sheet. And I cut, I believe it was a 4x6 card down prior to this and didn't use it. And then now I've actually used it on a layout. And that cut apart is from the 4x6 horizontal journaling element. So actually that answered my question. Yes, it was a 4x6 card that I glued down. So I'm liking this, but again, I'm still not seeing enough of the horizontal element. So I'm just cutting my photos down a little bit more, which is fine. Basically, you know, I'm not going to lose anything important there. And I'm liking that very much. But I'm also feeling like you can see the aqua paper, but the layout doesn't feel very grounded to me right now. And I'm thinking about that. How am I going to ground it? You just saw me tap my fingers on my left side there, which means I'm thinking. The other thing that, as I'm looking this, and I'm so glad I changed this, is that the diagonal stripes are going the wrong way. We read left to right, and they're going right to left. So I will change that. I'm bringing in some of the papers in Posh, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to border or mat basically that aqua polka dot paper on something else from the collection. And the stripe paper wasn't great because it fights the stripes in the diagonal. That gold paper wasn't great because it was too yellow. So I was just pointing there to the bottom of the aqua paper and trying to figure out what I want to do. And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to my washi tape. I keep them in old cigar boxes, and I'm really liking that silver foil washi tape with the polka dots on it. It is from Recollections, and you see there I just realized that the diagonals were going the wrong way to help readability of the layout, and so I just turned the layout to get them, quote, correct for readability's sake anyway. And not that you couldn't do that, but that's just one of those layouts that will help, or one of those things that will help your layouts be more cohesive if you do things like that. And for some reason, that aqua stripe just did, or aqua paper just didn't look like it was correct on the paper, that it wasn't the same height. And so I'm kind of playing with that a little bit And it was just the way it looked to me. So when I put that down, my aqua paper was a little bit longer than the diagonal stripe. So I just cut that little piece off. I have that block of the paper and the photo, extra photo there, which is basically just a photo of a layout I was working on my space. And now I'm trying to take the backing off that recollections tape, but I realized that if I take the backing off, you're going to be able to see through it. And I don't really care for that quite as much. So I'm actually not going to do that in the end. So I'm going to put that down. And then I did take a little bit off each of the pieces there, just a little bit of the backing off, so that'll help stick it down, and then I just use my ATG to further stick it down. All right, so that feels much better to me. It feels much more grounded. I'm trying to decide there whether I'm going to do a little bit of a reveal of the green, or the aqua I should say, or if I'm going to set that block on the silver foil paper. And I decide ultimately to set it on the silver foil paper. It felt like when I revealed the green that I was leaving trapped white space, and that's basically what kind of decided me on how I was going to put this down. Now I'm thinking about my title, and I am going to use an alpha from Dear Lizzie. It's called Lemon Drop, and it's the silver glitter thickers there. And how I position my photo kind of depends on how that title is going to look, or how the title is going to fit. So I played a little bit with that, put one of the letters on there so I could make up my mind about what I wanted that to look like. And now I'm gluing down my 2 4x6 photos as well. And just getting those down. I go with a group of women twice a year, and it's a house that holds 24 women. It's not always full, but even when it is, we have a ton of space. We have a very large table to ourselves, and then we're able to kind of position ourselves if we want more space. So I usually sit kind of, I'm not up against a wall, but my back is to a wall. So I actually can put another table of the same width right behind me, which is great because I have plenty of room to take a lot of supplies. Which I don't make kits up when I go on scrapbook retreats. I like choices, and I'm proud of the fact that I haul a lot of stuff, and that's just the way I like to scrap. I really don't mind it, and since I have the space at that crop, I do it. So I'm putting down those lemon drop thickers there. Again, I'm just spelling out the title, which is my space. I like these thickers. They're glittery and they're foam, but they're really chunky. So they have a lot of impact and a lot of dimension on a page. All right, now I'm thinking about embellishing, and I chose this pencil jar sticker from the combo cardstock stickers from Posh, and I really like that because the pencils are sort of a creative, artistic sort of thing, even though I don't use pencils on every layout. That seems to sort of indicate that, and I thought, where else am I going to use this pencil jar? And this is a great layout to use that on. I am working with some pieces from the Simple Stories Posh Bits and Pieces. That's what's sitting on my right on the desk there, and I'm just kind of playing with things that I think might work. I like the flowers, but they kind of fight the hearts in that piece, and that heart there, I like it, but it's too big. It's calling attention away from too much in the layout. I do like that little die cut of the flowers. It's smaller, and it helps break up the coral on that journaling or 4x6 cut apart there. Then I chose a banner from the Bits and Pieces, and it says "It's a beautiful day," which I totally think is correct. When I'm at my scrapbook retreat, it's one of my happy places anyway. So what I just did there is I like the die cut, but I found a piece of chipboard that was basically the same as the die cut, and I chose to use that instead on the bottom because it added some dimension to the bottom. I have some dimension in the top with the title, and I didn't want this layout to be quite as flat as it was. So that chipboard helps with that, and I'll do one other thing that helps get a little bit more dimension on this page. So I'm just going to glue that down because I know where I want that chipboard piece. And there is stickiness on the back of these chipboard pieces, but I like to add ATG just to make sure that they don't fall off. I am adding a little bit of foam tape. This will bring more dimension in again to the back of that banner, and that's my Scotch tape. Foam tape, you can buy it on Amazon. It's a huge roll. This one has lasted me more than 2 years, which is a very good thing. So that is dimension there. And now I'm just looking through some stickers that I have here. I know I want a little bit more on this, and I'm thinking I need some more by the pencil jar. I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like. So I put those stickers down. And then I looked at the Planner Basic stickers, which is what these are. And I'm going to use 2 of those stickers. So I find these circles, and I really like the way they look. Tried that one. Tried that one, which is a sticker that says yay. And I like that. But I want a little bit more color in there, so I grabbed this coral because there's so much coral in that block to the left and lower that says enjoy little things. I wanted to bring a little bit more coral up into that top right block. So the coral and yay really make a nice statement. And then what I'm going to do is I put the coral piece right on top of the mason jar sticker with the pencils in there, and then I'm going to add a little bit of that foam adhesive tape there underneath the yay to give that a little bit of dimension. And I'm playing with this a little bit because the diagonal wasn't quite following the diagonal of the background paper, so they were kind of fighting each other a little bit. So that's what I'm doing, and I use my Cricut spatula to get that sticker, because now it's a sticker with a foam tape on it, up. And that's a really good tip if you have stickers on your layout that don't want to come up. If you have a Cricut spatula or another spatula, try that. So now I still want a little bit of a different texture and some more dimension, so I'm going to go to my enamel dots, which are part of the Posh collection. So it's just the Posh collection enamel dots, and I'm going to add them in. So I added a big yellow one to bring some of that yellow in there. I love that because that helps bring some dimension in. And I thought about adding some silver down towards the bottom from the alphabet using the and sticker, but it just didn't, or the and thicker there, it just didn't work quite so well. One thing I like about the enamel dots being on that clear background is you can kind of move them around a little bit. So I'm going to add 2 very small enamel dots in aqua and coral to that banner to bring those colors back in again. And now I'm sticking the paper down just a little bit more because it wasn't sticking very well. And I realized I needed to get an enamel dot in the flower collection there, and I'm going to use an aqua dot. So I like the way that looks. Now we have some texture in each of those 3 blocks. The photo block being the exception, but there's a lot going on in that, so I don't think I really need that. So I'm just kind of looking at some more of the die cuts from the bits and pieces. I like those pencils. Again, where else am I going to use those? And I decided, wow, that looks really nice on the left side, and there's not anything going on there. So this does a nice job of getting something over to the left side of the photographs. And that's what I'm going to do here. And again, Those are from the Bits and Pieces from Posh. I use my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive there. I have it in a fine line bottle. And I have mine in the smaller tip, but I added a little bit of water to it and it's been fine. I don't have clogging issues with it. Just going to add those to the die cuts. I'm not going to pop any foam tape behind them. I don't want to call a lot of attention to the left side of the page because it's all about the grid on the right side, but something helps there. Give it just a little bit of dimension. And now I'm just gluing down the photos just a little bit more, getting that cap on my fine line bottle there. More gluing just because I need to get those down. I like my edges glued down quite a bit. And what I'm doing there is I'm checking a date because I'm going to journal in that coral box right below the label with right below the label. Having a hard time with words today. Right below the label there, just a little note about, we call it craft camp, the group of girls, we call it craft camp because not everybody's scrapbooks, but just a little bit about that being there and it being my happy place, and then the date. There will be a still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you are all well, and I'll see you again with another video soon. Bye!